Why don't you start reading the news, Nancy, and the rest of us will drink.
Hold on, are you saying Nancy with an M or an M?
Nancy.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want, Mamsy. It's up to you. I don't give a shit.
No one here watches.
Say meow.
No one watches our shit.
Are you saying meow?
Am I a cat?
Yeah.
Jumping from tree to tree?
Oh, nimbly bimbly.
All right. So first piece of news that we have this week is Sony news. Sony admits to plotting the PlayStation HDR launch for about 3 years.
What does that
sound
mean?
good. Doesn't sound good.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, let me elaborate
Please.
for you simpletons.
Please do.
Gran Turismo series creator Yamauchi. I'm just going to say Yamauchi.
Yamauchi.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yamagata, but his brother.
No. Told reporters at his team at Polyphony Digital was to lead the charge for the HD content within Sony. Surprisingly, Yamauchi-san has also said that his team and designers for the 2016 racer Gran Turismo Sport also planned to have these plans before the PlayStation 4 Pro even existed back in the middle of 2013. So what it sounds like is that whoever this person is saying, the creator of Gran Turismo is saying that Sony had planned to release the PlayStation 4 Pro back in 2013, even before the launch of the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Which would have been the original system to begin
So
with.
it's just good planning, or
Either good planning or them deciding. Well, you also have to remember that the PS4...
we got this really good thing that we're gonna hold back from the public.
Well, if your competition isn't that high grade, then you might need to hold back
He's-
and wait for the fluff to go by.
Which would also kind of make sense now that you mention it, Justin, because if you have the PS4, right, you got to imagine the PS4 started somewhere around 2010. They were like, all right, it's time for a new console. Let's start making it. And then you also had ideas for the next iteration of it. So you're not going to just completely blow out the Xbox One and, just use your best hand right away. You're going to use what you have and then come out with it. It kind of makes sense to what you're saying, Justin. You don't want to put your best foot forward.
My problem with this is it's the complaint of everybody when both the PS4 and the Xbox One launch was they're underpowered. They were underpowered systems. Like, they couldn't really... Like, the 4K thing was a stretch, but they struggled with they still struggle with 1080p 60 frames per second. Mm-hmm. And there were better chips out at the time. I mean, like, they could have done...
But again,
as you see,
you're talking 2013 specs. You have to remember the architecture of a PS4 or a Xbox One at that point is architecture from 2010 to 2011.
Yeah, you have to keep that in mind, Steve.
You're looking at parts that they were like, all right, this is what we're going to do when developing a system a few years before the launch of
right,
the
but the
system.
parts they picked for the original PS4 were older parts,
Of course.
for even then, compared to the launch, and that was the big complaint.
Mm-hmm.
It was a low. The CPUs were probably low end. GPU was a bit better,
Right.
but
Yeah, check out.
So is that
No.
why? Is that why the Scorpio is gonna be more powerful?
the Scorpio's the
Because
Xbox One, right?
I feel like
Yeah.
the Scorpio is
Scorpio's
more
going
of
to
the
be
answer to the PS4
is
Pro.
gonna
where it's like,
probably-
this is what it should have been.
Because
This
the
is what-
PS4 Pro was really built 3 years ago, and the Xbox Scorpio is being built now.
Well, you have to imagine the Scorpio was probably a year behind. So you got to imagine Scorpio was probably started in 2014.
the Scorpio will, crush
The PS4 Pro.
PS4 Pro.
Because they already have the S, which is
If they
does the
deliver,
same
if
thing.
they deliver on what they say, like if
That
what they said,
we
is,
still don't know. We
yeah,
haven't
there's
just
still
seen
gotta-
anything.
there's
as
some
long as it's 6
ambiguity
teraflops.
in some of it,
Yeah.
but
As long as we
Teraflops
get
are high.
enough teraflops,
yes.
If
but
you're
it's
not
actually
teraflopping,
like
What
there
are you
are. I mean,
doing
people
shit?
have
What are you
speculated
flopping?
on
You
what
are
chips
flopping.
and
yeah.
shit they would
Yeah, if
use.
you're not teraflopping,
You're
you're
flopping.
flopping.
It's gonna be actually
Anthony,
a very
that's a great
very
motto.
powerful system, and it will do. It should do 4K pretty
Well, the Xbox
Well.
One S does 4K totally fine right now.
gaming or just the
Yeah.
video. I think it's just video.
I think it's no
The
gaming.
PS4
no
play-
gaming system has 4K.
the PS4 Pro does 4K gaming.
true 4K.
What game?
Well,
True 4K, Steve.
Is it
I'm
true?
pretty sure that's what I've read in all the reviews
many
of the PS4 Pro.
teraflops?
How many teraflops?
So the
13?
Scorpio should will do better than that.
Either way, I'm not playing either one of them.
Correct.
So I don't.
I'm still at the same stance. I don't like the mid-cycle thing. I think it's horseshit
Mid-cycle
because the
can
problem
suck
is they
dick.
should have launched like
With
they
both.
could have done. Maybe they don't. I mean, they probably couldn't done like the Scorpio probably couldn't have been launched at that point in time. But the PS4 specs, I'm almost certain like they could have done them.
Do you have this issue with the new 3DS?
Yeah, I don't. It's more acceptable in a handheld in the sense of like because it's looked at as like a phone. Like every year, you get a new phone. But I don't like the mid-cycle. Like the DS,
The DSi.
DSi didn't do well. And I'm glad it didn't because I don't like the division of games. Like
To
and-
have exclusive just for this one part of the system. Gotcha.
right, and they tried to mitigate that with the PS4 Pro with saying you have to develop. The game has to work on both the PS4
And the PS4
original
Pro.
and the PS4 Pro, but then you're fucking developers over, and it's just this clusterfuck of like now they have to develop kind of twice or like time and a half. Just get these both going.
There's a
And,
lot going on right now.
I
Yeah.
agree. I was really excited for the Pro and the Scorpio. Well, mostly for the Pro when it was like they were like, all right, this is what it should be doing. And then they came out and they were like,
This is
it's
the announcement.
only
It was-
going to do
not spending-
4K-ish. And I
Yeah.
was like, well,
Spending it
what
on
is the
fucking-
point? Yeah, what else are you
well,
going to do?
my issue has always been why don't you get 1080p at 60 frames a
and
second?
lock that down real quick before we jump
Like
ahead.
get that constant, like that's the thing,
Yeah.
and then go from there. Because maybe you can do 4K, but if you do 4K at 30 frames a second, but you do 1080p at 60 constant, you're gonna notice the 60
Yeah.
over the
And, like,
30
what's
more than
really
the
better,
resolution
really, yeah.
increase.
People
Yeah.
are just buying fucking names now.
It's just like whatever, it's whatever.
Yeah,
The Wii
It's a
U did
whole-
that,
It's
though.
a fucking mess, and it's a mess for the games because it's like it's what do you get?
You don't. And then if a game gets delayed,
these goddamn
and then all of a
hybrids.
sudden you're delayed a little
Well,
bit.
I mean, they're
now there's
getting-
a new system for you to.
teraflops,
But then it's
all
getting
whack.
delayed because of like the 4K shit, and,
Yeah.
and that would piss me off. It's like what the fuck? I just
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think happened with Horizon. So
Right.
Horizon should have been out in November, but it's pushed to February because it needs to be pro ready. So I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything this holiday season.
Right.
I mean, they have The Last Guardian.
Neither of them kind of.
Hype.
it's such
Yellow.
a spec
Hard
war.
yellow.
No, it's
still,
a blinking red.
It's a blinking red.
it's such a fucking spec war still now with between the two rather than like
I don't give
a
a
game
fuck.
war.
I don't.
Right.
Specs don't.
No, most people don't. It's the
Specs
games.
don't mean shit.
They-
Specs don't mean shit to me.
No, I want
game
the
is a
games.
game. A good game
I
is
want
a
the
good
game.
game.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Done with this.
Is a good
Yeah.
game.
Done with you console peasants.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, first of all,
really?
The,
PC
the
Master
PC
Race.
race is all about specs.
Done with you
So-
console peasants.
All right.
Moving
Anyways,
on.
moving on. Keeping with the PlayStation 4 news, however,
have
Sony
to?
has sold 50 million PS4s. This includes the PS4 Pro, the PS4, and the new slim version of the console. And this is
Should have sold
worldwide.
more.
Congratulations,
well,
suck bags.
To be honest with you, though, software sales have been really, really strong, and the 50 million milestone just took the PS4 just over 3 years for Sony to reach. In comparison, the PS3 was on sale for 4.5 years before it hit the same number. So, I mean, it
Really
just
excited.
what it sounds like
Seemed
is
like
that
it.
video games are more popular than ever, or there's more people.
No, I think the consoles
They
are
just
more popular.
if they
now.
compare because they compare it to the PS3, but the PS3 fucked up with the pricing. It'd been interesting to see to the PS2. I mean, I'm sure it is more popular. There's probably more
Isn't the
people
PS4
playing.
Well,
it.
I mean,
the most,
as of
like,
right,
selling thing
as
of
of right
all
now, the
time.
But it took a
PS4 is
long-
on
like,
For, like, 'cause it was such a long
surpassing the
race.
So
PS2
he's
in
looking at-
sales. So
You'll have to look
Which
at it
makes sense
after
because
the
gaming is becoming more popular.
right.
So it makes
But,
sense.
yeah.
It makes sense.
PS2 is a
Congrats.
powerhouse, though.
yeah, good job on selling a bunch
Yeah,
of
I'm
consoles.
really
Yeah.
happy
Good-
for you, I guess.
We're really proud of
Yeah.
you.
You own
job
one.
on all the
Everyone
sex.
here bought one.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Anyways, Microsoft says that the wait for Crackdown 3 will be a year at most. So, for those of you that don't know, they showed this off at E3 2014. It was just a cinematic trailer
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2.5 years ago at this point.
2.5 years
And they
ago.
haven't said a single thing about it
Hopefully
since.
they've been cracking down on it.
It's No Man's Sky out there.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
About 2 seconds. I mean, it comes in and it goes
was
out.
Yeah, I believe that because that was
Yeah.
was
Anyways,
pretty bad.
so during an Extra Life stream, members of the Crackdown 3 development team confirmed that the game is scheduled for a holiday 2017 or earlier. And Crackdown 3 will run at 4K on Scorpio, which
Who
makes
gives
me
a
believe
shit?
that Scorpio will be launched before holiday of next year.
Yep.
So
So probably around the same time as the Pro was released this year.
that would make sense.
November.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometime in
Crackdown
October,
3, we
November.
haven't seen anything about it.
It's like-
And
Crackdown's pretty sweet.
So I feel like
Crackdown
Crackdown and Infamous are like Infamous is Sony's and Crackdown is Microsoft's,
Absolutely.
and I feel like they're very similar.
very similar.
Would you say? I mean, I
Not in
understand
game itself.
there's differences, but they're third person, like open world exploration.
Pretty much a superhero.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're just like spamming
But
bullets.
at
into
least in
random boards.
Crackdown, you can do multiplayer.
Crackdown's dope as shit.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Crackdown, I remember, Justin, we used to play Crackdown too.
Yeah, Crackdown was awesome.
I mean,
Throw each
I
other
feel
at
like that sounds like a blast, but I'm not really a
that a
huge
pun?
multiplayer.
Crackdown.
No, but yes.
There's a lot of blasting going on.
No,
in that
but
game if I
yes.
ever played
Is
it,
that
yeah.
is that a thing? Sure. But
Yeah, no.
I've hashtag yep nope.
Yeah.
I've never actually played a Crackdown game.
Nope.
Well, I mean,
They're quite fun.
it's fucking awesome. Crackdown 1 was unreal.
Yeah.
I remember watching you play it a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's a fucking sweet game. There's some
There we go.
Sweet
Hard
menu music.
hitting analysis.
Some sweet menu music is a turnover, if you will.
A little turnover, if you will. Moving on to the Nintendo news, which there's an ass ton. So,
It's ass load.
wow.
Okay.
There's a turnover of
if
ass
we
ton
will.
Nintendo news. The first Switch accessories appear at EB Games Australia,
Accessories.
saying
I like this.
that the system may be using USB-C charging. God, Mike, you played.
So we're talking
I
dongles.
played USB-C a lot.
No, you
talking
plan to
dongles?
elaborate.
I
Not
got
many
you.
dongles.
What would you like me to elaborate on?
What the fuck is USB-C?
Just a new type of connector for the USB that's universal.
So like micro USB and
So,
mini
like,
USB and this type of
It's-
USB?
Well,
or?
it's reversible, so no matter which way you put it in, it fits.
So kind of like the
Okay.
lightning?
Very much like a lightning connector.
All right.
Doesn't work for you.
It's most
He
You see how
the
he
softball.
You see how he let this one go?
I'm just like
perfect
staring
gentleman.
off into the distance.
He's a perfect gentleman.
Thinking about
softball.
Okay.
Lob. It was just lob.
I'm just gonna leave that one to itself.
be.
it. To
But
imagination.
okay, so universal charging. I also hear that it's faster than normal USB.
it's at least
I really hope so.
it's
I'm
one
really-
of
Because I've been
With
pissed
my
off at my
USB.
USB. Because I'm like, hey, USB can you get a little faster.
And then it's
you know
like,
what?
nah,
Turnovers at the-
nah,
I don't think
wait
so.
for the USB-C.
And I'm like, okay, if that comes out, I can turn over.
Anyways, moving right along. Zelda: The Wind Waker 2 was canceled by Nintendo. So The Legend of Zelda: Wind
cares?
This is
Waker
a plus. Thank you.
was
Pass on.
originally meant to get a sequel, but Nintendo canceled it in favor of The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. According to an interview with artist Satoru Kazuyawa,
Is that a
Nailed
question
it.
or is that his name?
yeah, question. Quote, we have begun the initial steps towards creating Wind Waker 2. However, demand for a more ocarina-like game
thank
was
you.
growing by the day. Reasons for cancellation of Wind Waker 2 instead of
Are
Twilight
as
or
follows.
for
Nobody wanted.
Twilight Princess.
One sucked.
No, Wind Waker was much better than Twilight
No, it
Princess.
wasn't. No.
We both,
I failed to
everybody here
50
knows that the two of you will smack heads on this subject all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So let's keep it
Yeah.
moving.
So Wind Waker 2 would
was
have
that it?
taken place in a more land-based setting rather than on the sea. So that could have made Link galloping across the land on a horse, but Link's proportions in Wind Waker weren't very well suited for riding on horseback.
Oh, tiny
he was too
horses.
short, and the
midget
adult
horse,
version of
yeah, dude.
Toon Link wouldn't seem appropriate
He could have
either.
a fucking hang glider.
Well, when I think of the Tell Dune, oh wow,
What?
What did I say?
One more
The
time,
adult-
loud as you can. What were you going to say?
Is that
Toon
Eminem?
Link. I
Yeah,
think
that
of,
was. You Slim Shady motherfucker.
I think of
it go?
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
I think of the same
So
thing.
I
It's
don't
so
know.
weird.
He
Me
rode
too.
a horse in that game.
But how
So,
did the root
no, he
sound?
rode a bird.
He wrote a
That's
bird.
all I care
Actually,
about.
that kind of makes sense though, because it is a different style. But speaking of Slim Shady, Justin, why don't you take it easy there, pal?
I'm the real Slim Shady.
You got a
Other
starter
Slim
cap
Shadys
backwards.
just
Please
imitating.
stand up.
Don't stand up.
Put one of those fingers on each.
But
hand.
I don't know.
My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why.
Jesus. Bry guy, we're not interested in this anymore.
All right.
I am.
Next.
All right. So I
We
mean,
got so much news.
yeah, we
Flip
got
it over.
we got to flip it over. So Dark Souls 3 apparently runs on the Switch. From Software is considering re-releasing the trilogy.
Justin,
Is this a selling
you're
point for you?
Justin
Is this
can
gonna
take
make
Dark
you
Souls
buy-
on the
Hey,
go.
this will make me run from it.
you can actually play Dark Souls on the train.
Oh, perfect.
Going to work,
Well, you know
at
what?
work,
Or even
back
better,
at home.
On the
on the
toilet.
toilet
Yeah.
because you're going to be shitting yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Let's
because
go.
yeah. Anyways,
Buckle up,
according to
et
one of
cetera,
our
et cetera.
sources, From Software has Dark Souls 3 running on Nintendo Switch with a level of performance that they're actually happy with.
Actually happy with. Does that mean the other stuff they're not?
The other stuff?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like if they're actually happy with this, what are they not happy with? These are the hard-hitting questions.
Putting it on the
Your
Wii U.
question
We're
does
actually
not
happy
make
with
sense,
this.
Justin.
They're saying that they're
It's running at a performance that they're happy with to release a game
On-
of Dark
For
Souls.
them to say actually happy is just like
yeah,
they were
because if it
surprised.
wasn't
They're
up to par,
yeah.
then
They
they
were
wouldn't
like-
be
I
saying
wonder how
this.
his brain works.
I don't know. So let's move on. Flip it over.
Can
Just
we
keep it going.
donate
Flip it
to
over.
science?
Do a little-
Flip it.
do the
Just do a
sign.
little flip it over.
Yeah.
It helps the questions go like
All right. So sources: Nintendo Switch will have GameCube Virtual Console support. This is what we're talking
yeah.
about. This is what we're talking
yeah.
about, ladies and
That's a good
gentlemen,
one.
or lady and gentlemen. Nintendo Switch
Who's
will
the
be
lady?
able to play
We
GameCube
kidding,
games
gentlemen.
on its Virtual Console. 3 separate sources have
Cox
confirmed
would be
to
the lady.
Eurogamer. So those games are Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and Super Smash Bros. Melee. However, what is up next on its slate? Animal Crossing.
For the GameCube?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It is.
So, I don't know.
And
man.
then
if
everything
you
else
have
is limitless.
yeah, if
they
you
can
have
keep adding
so
more and more.
This is a great start, and I tweeted this out
They
earlier.
finally
I
giving
think
us
I
what
saw
we
that
want.
tweet.
And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. It's at It's a MeBT.
I would.
Shameless
fucking
plug.
plug.
Shameless
Kill
plug.
the
Do
news.
not follow that cocksucker.
But
Damn it.
what I was
Roll
saying,
over.
what I was saying is that it's a great start, but I don't understand why they don't have a subscription service. Like everyone's been clamoring for it. I don't.
That's me. That's you stole my fucking thing.
It's yes and no, I guess.
I talk about that all the time.
It just makes sense.
Now, if you want
Do
to
your
tweet at
first-
me,
yeah.
You can get at Katana underscore fish underscore
G Hines 25.
fucking
Semicolon
semicolon
69.
69.
Don't plug
Titty
me, I got
sprinkles, bitch. I'll plug your titty sprinkles all day.
These sprinkles doesn't need a plug.
Stop, no plugging.
Somebody needs
Let's
plugs.
turn it over. Let's keep it moving.
I don't know. I think that's a really cool idea to have GameCube on the Nintendo
Yeah,
Switch.
of course,
it's
we
absolutely-
all
I mean,
wanted it for
Let's put it
generations.
this way. I mean, if you have a new,
They better have more than
new,
5.
or say current gen console that's coming out, next gen console, it should be able to play backwards compatible with any of those other.
probably like,
consoles.
hey, sorry, it's
Xbox
not coming out
does
on
it.
time.
Nintendo should
Here's
be doing
GameCube.
it. PlayStation should fucking do it.
The architecture of the PlayStation, they can't even fucking change their names.
Yeah,
They
well,
ca-
because they're holding back on technology from us. They're cocksuckers. So let's keep it
This
moving.
guy.
Well, before that though, with the GameCube, they could definitely do Wii games too. Like
'Cause
nothing
it's the
stops
same,
them.
yeah.
They do it now.
They're
Yeah.
going past the Wii because the Wii is too easy, and they're holding that back from us. Follow me. Take it easy, Anakin. 2-5.
Take it easy, Anakin. They're holding
high
you back.
ground.
Anyways, Nintendo will pay $20,000 for hackers to find 3DS security flaws.
Dude, I need to learn how to hack, bro.
So just recently, Nintendo partnered up with San Francisco-based
Catch these bitches.
security firm HackerOne to launch a new vulnerability rewards program for the Nintendo 3DS. I can't believe I said that correctly the first time.
You nailed it.
He's not drunk yet. You didn't have any doctors.
Yeah.
Say it 5 times fast.
No.
Follow him at.
In other words, Nintendo will pay
nailed it.
a bounty ranging between $100 to $20,000 to all hackers or highly skilled
Hackers.
researchers who can find and mix as many
Keep going.
3DS vulnerabilities and exploits as they possibly can. So it sounds like they are trying to hire people or contract people. If you can find any sort of exploit or anything like that with the 3DS, we'll pay you money so that way
It's a
we can
perfect
fix
way
it.
to turn criminal into somebody who works.
My
you
thing
know?
with this is
That's a profession.
Yeah, they're gonna catch you. You're gonna do it anyways. You might as well pay him so that they give it right to us first and not to everybody else.
why would someone do this? Because unlike the other like Apple or Microsoft or Mozilla, like the benefit of not patching these is that you can play the games for free. Like you could download them and play them because of the exploits.
But you also have to remember, think about hackers that don't play video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
hackers
I guess
that don't
if they
give a
want
sh-
the
and they're
quick
looking
20
for
Gs.
they're looking for a paycheck. They're not going to
Yeah,
be
they're
like,
Well, you gotta
That's
think.
fucking
Let's
simple, like,
look back
yeah.
at how stupid the Pokemon people were.
sure.
They
go
cheated
ahead.
in the game, and then they contacted Nintendo like, "Yeah, you guys fucked up." And then
And they're
it's
like, hey, this game isn't out yet. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're fired.
Yep,
And in
let's
jail.
turn it over. Flip
Turn it
up.
over. Miyamoto on Mario
page.
Run, Wii experiments, and Pokemon Go
Slow
success.
down, Bob Seger.
Turn the page.
It's a good song though.
Nintendogs may work better as
Back
a
in
mobile.
'79.
Nintendogs works better as not a game.
I agree. Anyways, in an interview,
Shitty game.
Nintendo Everything reports that. All right, so there's a lot of stuff to this one, but
Nintendogs?
on
much to
Miyamoto,
read.
here's a roundup of
Give us the
Miyamoto's
Spark
comments on Super Mario Run.
Paraphrasing. Yeah.
Okay,
here we
so Miyamoto's quote on Super Mario Run. Quote, I feel like Mario was what introduced millions of people to video games and interactive entertainment. And I think that Mario will continue to serve that role. I think that Super Mario Run is exactly what's going to happen. There's
Since
nothing.
it is happening, definitely.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna happen.
I
Yeah.
mean, it exists already,
not
so
lying.
he's definitely
Keep it
telling the
going.
truth about
Flip
that.
it over.
how Nintendo has been toying the idea
It's
of
a
a
BBC.
one-button Mario game since the days of Wii. Quote, as we were doing those experiments, we thought that this kind of approach would perhaps best be suited to iPhone. So that became the basis for Super Mario Run. Nintendo has been making Mario games for a long time, and the longer you continue to make a series, the more complex the gameplay becomes, and the harder it becomes for new players to be able to get into the series. We felt that having a simple tap interaction to make Mario jump, we'd be able to make a game that the
You're
broadest
welcome,
audience
casuals.
of
Pretty
people
much.
could play.
I agree with that.
But they might
I think
further their
that's-
expansion of the series.
It makes sense.
Well,
Stop acting like you created this genre, though.
No, I mean, well, he didn't.
never, yeah.
I don't think he says that he creates this genre. I think what he actually says is that the Super Mario series in itself, has become a more complex than it ever actually has been. Which
I
is
think
true.
he said it brought a lot of people into gaming. Is that what it said?
Well, yeah, it
That's
says
definitely what
that.
it said.
It was
Verbatim?
the gateway drug of
Well,
the gaming.
That's
what
it.
I think is more important here is that the gameplay itself has become more complex. What we're trying to do here with this is that decomplex it exactly and make
Oh,
it very
shit.
simple, so that that way we can get as many people as we possibly can to download this game.
It's a good plug.
Yeah,
Hit 'em up.
why we could grab as many people as we can. As me, as a gamer, I don't like casuals. I don't want you to grab anybody. Leave them alone.
But
they might
Don't bring them
further
into my
they're
space
expand.
also-
and
they're
talk to me about this.
also
like you
gonna
know shit about
continue to
Mario.
make- They're
Mario.
also going to continue to make the games that you want, though.
I hope.
Well, one.
We know.
They're not going to
we
do
know
that
it is.
without casuals buying their game.
I
Correct.
guess.
It's a hybrid.
I mean, it's
hoping
on the
the
mobile. You're
casuals-
not like
Yeah, you're not
If
Steppy
it's-
Pants, bro.
yeah.
Steppy Pants
As
is
long as
stepping
you're always
Can
right
we
in
connected.
actually
my
talk
heart.
about Steppy Pants? What's the?
No,
what's the
let's-
high?
let's
I'm like
not.
one.
Still at
I'm like
82.
118 right now.
I just
Fucking
Getting
sucks.
the
fucking
game.
crushed.
Getting
Yeah,
fucking
you are.
crushed.
He is.
All right, do we really need to talk about Pokemon Go?
No, we don't need to talk
The
about
update
Pokemon
for
Go.
Gen
It
2.
needs to go away. How about that?
You're still playing it,
I
aren't you,
am.
You fucking psychopath.
Okay.
Gen 2.
On how Pokemon Go could affect also
nobody in this
well,
room besides
Mario and Animal Crossing. We're not going to talk about Pokemon Go, but the success
Am I
of
gonna catch
Pokemon
villagers?
Go. Maybe. We have Super Mario Run releasing
Pitfalls,
now.
baby.
Yeah. Fucking hitting him with the net. Get the fuck out of my town.
So
Goats only.
We have Super Mario Run releasing now,
shit.
and it's already decided that we will be making a Mario game for our next system. And similarly,
Similarly?
yes, thank you. With Animal Crossing,
Shit
the
corrected
hope
by
is
Justin.
that
No, I was.
when we
assisting.
release the Animal Crossing mobile game, we will have more people who become familiar with the Animal Crossing world and characters, so that the next release in an Animal Crossing game will have a much larger audience of people who will be interested. Yeah, well, I mean, when I'm trying to read the news and you two assholes are having a side conversation, it's hard for people to understand what I'm saying.
Spark notes.
No, it's not Spark
no,
Notes.
what they're
it's
trying
just
to do-
jumbling over me talking.
They're
Paraphrase it.
using mobile
I've never heard the word jumble.
to sell their future console games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
everybody.
think Animal,
It's a smart move. It's a smart move, and you're gonna get those casual gamers.
every
Animal Crossing
developer-
on the
but-
mobile is like interesting. Would be very interesting to me.
Yeah, 'cause think
if
about-
they would finally make it
an Animal Crossing game.
like an
City
MMO.
Folk.
Ask.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
What
Like
they're gonna
internet
do, what
connected.
they're gonna do is make a Pokemon Go Animal Crossing.
No,
Think
it's
about this,
they
though.
can't
Hold
do
on.
that.
In what
let me,
sense, though?
let me
Yeah.
stop you guys right there.
What do you do in Animal Crossing? You catch.
It's
no,
it's
no,
just like
it's,
a
no,
tap
no.
and
it's
go.
more of a single
Yeah.
player
Yeah.
game. Think about this though. If you're playing the original Animal Crossing on your mobile phone, how often did you play that game?
a lot.
A lot.
How often, like time frame, 5 to 10 minutes every day?
At least
Well,
you
when I,
have to.
for
Pull-
the,
you gotta pull the
roughly
leaves.
about a year.
pull the
I
leaves.
guess it depends on what exactly, like how long. were we
Okay,
talking?
let me run around, collect the weeds, get my money bags out of
least
the
an hour,
rocks,
45 to an
do
hour.
certain things. Yeah, you would play for about, I don't know, like let's say 30
45
minutes.
minutes maybe.
That's perfect for a mobile game. If you're on the train and you're taking the T in 20
you're
minutes
taking
to
a
work.
shit at work.
You're taking a shit at work. You have 10 minutes. You're going to do this. You're going to do that, and it's fine. You check in every day. It's a part of
But
your
I-
daily routine. Instagram,
I need
Twitter,
buttons.
Facebook,
need
Animal
buttons.
Crossing.
Well, there's lots of games
But what
like
if
that.
you can set
You don't
your,
need
your
buttons, though.
apartment?
I need buttons.
Why do you need buttons for Animal Crossing?
Because I don't. I like buttons.
Yeah,
Flat
no.
out like.
Let me
But-
ask you that. Why do you need buttons? It's not like it's a timing thing. It's not anything like that. It's a slow-paced
Catching
game.
Pokemon, I mean, catching fish is timing.
Well,
gotta
you
wait for
don't-
the little blurb. and you
It
gotta
depends
grab
how
them.
they
The net
structure
is
it. Like
timing.
it could be
The
a
net
different
is
It could be a
timing.
different mini game. It could be like okay, the line is coming down like an.
But I
might
like,
not be
I
running
like
around
buttons
the
in all
town.
games, even games that are good, like the they make games that are okay with the the fake.
Do you think
joystick and
that?
the
Do you
fake
think that
buttons. I just
Nintendo is
physically-
going to make a game that has a shitty controls? No,
not
that's the one
shitty.
thing that they're good at.
But I mean, I like buttons.
No,
man. I
I'm
just,
with
can't
you.
get
Maybe you
into
just set
phone
your
games.
apartment
But
as
there's
your
ways-
home location, and then you build that your apartment is your house, and then you go around collecting shit.
I mean,
Do and you don't.
I
but
mean,
you also know.
I'm just thinking of like how they could actually do it.
There's
They could
ways
do
to avoid
random
buttons.
shit.
Yeah, they have
like
to
in the
cut.
same
That's
way.
what I'm saying. Just
Like they
do
could do an
Pokemon Go
interface
Animal
that's
Crossing.
different.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
it's not going to be like you're not running
fish,
necessarily
it would
running
work.
around your
It'd be fine.
town. You
It could
might
be a
You go around,
complete-
you're
just
walking
select
to the
where
train
you're
station.
going.
There's 7 weeds on the way. You're fucking cutting weeds as you're going, and then you get home. You set it as your home location, and then that's where you build up everything.
Me personally,
A
I
ton
would rather
more.
the original game, but then
Yeah.
again, I
Like
mean, they could have an iteration where it's something completely different.
Well, I haven't played.
I just don't
New
think
Leaf.
they're gonna create
Dude,
like
New
a
Leaf
game
is-
that you have to use the
Leaf
like
is
pad
next-
to
next
like.
one.
Well, I
actually-
mean, have you ever played an Animal Crossing? You really
No.
only need like one button and an
like
analog
A.
stick. Yeah.
yeah,
the
no, I
analog
get
stick.
it, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
No,
I don't think. I
what
think
I'm
it's gonna be
saying
like
is-
a mini game to the game because they
be
want
more
the actual
casuals,
game to be
yeah.
on the next gen console,
Which-
which they're trying to sell. So
Yep.
it's going to be some sort of mini game that attracts casual players. So I'm not trying to think of like a game that's going
rope
to be
'em in.
like
The
really
casual
in depth
trap.
that you're going to be coming back to. It's going to be a game that you casually walk into the train or whatever on
Yeah.
the train. That's what it's going to be.
Well, anyways,
Poppycock.
continuing
Turn
with
it over, stick it up,
Nintendo-
flip it up, give it a tickle.
Nintendo mobile game, Super Mario
Moving
Run
on.
requires internet connection at all times to play. So, quoted by, I believe, Miyamoto,
Huge fan.
we wanted to be able to leverage
heard
that
of it.
network connection with all 3 of the Super Mario Run modes, Miyamoto explained. To keep all of the modes functioning together and offering the game in a way that keeps the software secure, this is something that we wanted to continue to work on as we continue to develop the game. Unlike our dedicated game devices, i.e. home consoles, the game is not releasing in a limited number of countries. We're launching in 150 countries, with each of those countries having different network environments and things like that. So it was important for us to be able to have it secure for all users.
All right.
Sounds like a load of poppycock.
Like their other consoles don't come on all the countries as well.
It's a load of shit because
Can't buy a Wii U in Zimbabwe.
especially with that quote with the other consoles
Cost you
because it's like
1
the Wii,
billion.
the Wii U, 3DS, DS. They've been hacked to shit. They're not very secure at all, and arguably, they put like the hacking or the pirating of mobile games is almost non-existent, especially non-existent on iOS. Android's slightly different, but it's not launching on Android for a while, I think, or whatever, or probably a month or something. But for the iPhone and the iOS, it's a joke. There isn't an issue with it. It's so minimal that to have the internet connection is ridiculous, and it will fucking cost them sales.
Yeah.
Because it's
100%.
just because it's
How
like,
much is the game? $10?
Yeah, $9.99.
But how
Well,
much
it's
is
just
your
like you have to
data?
have. I mean, like
Well, yeah,
I've
that's
seen
true,
like
yeah.
when this launched, you just saw a bunch of people just were like, "That I'm not probably gonna pick this up now because it's just."
$10, and then on top of that, like I don't have unlimited data.
I don't think the
correct.
data is gonna be crazy.
but
It just wants to
still.
know that it's legit. But at the same time, that's
Still
what people think
it's
that
still gonna
right,
be using it, and like that's fucked up.
right.
It's fucked up.
Or
I
it
mean,
needs it. It's not that. I mean, it was gonna use it anyway, regardless. But not.
Slight, it uses
How many?
small.
I don't play a lot of games on my phone. So
I mean, they don't-
Are they
Pokemon
all
Go's
online?
small.
Like they're all
Most
costing
most
data?
games are, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like
So
tracking
when you're
every
playing
single
Steppy
thing.
Dance, is that always online? Like you
Yeah, I
can't,
mean,
you
they're
can't
given
play it not
One
connected.
tap tennis.
I mean,
it
I'm not
posts
sure. I don't know. I mean, I feel like my phone is always online regardless, but I'm sure it'll work even on airplane mode or something. I'm sure.
But they're saying that
But this game won't.
this game won't.
Super
You
Mario
can't-
Run
you can't-
won't run
You can't play
on-
this game on a plane if you're
Nope.
if you're going on a flight.
And
you
that's
can't play this.
I mean, to me, it's just
$10 for
kind
that.
of silly for the game it
weird.
is,
It's
and
bullshit.
just like to argue like it's basically saying piracy, but it's like it's almost non-existent on iOS, and it's so minuscule for the amount of people that if you
So
had
you're saying
like,
it sounds like an excuse to you for something else? It's like, what are they worried
'Cause they're,
about?
they're trying to track you,
I
Illuminati.
don't think it's not even tracking.
It's
I
like
just
that
don't.
fucking 1%
Nintendo's
getting
always
us.
been
That's
like.
what I'm saying. Fucking
Well,
Illuminati.
where I keep all
I'm
my
wait,
fucking
you wait,
legendary Pokemon
I'm
I don't
wait.
just think it's just Nintendo's always been super like hyper vigilant about piracy that doesn't really affect their bottom line, but they think it does for some strange reason. I mean, maybe they lose like I don't know what, 1 million out of fucking 50
100
million
million
or 100 million
sales.
or just whatever. It's so minuscule for
Like, who
like
the fuck
especially
cares?
this. It's ridiculous. Like iOS.
This is gonna be ridiculous. Like this game.
They'll change it before it comes out. They'll hear the cries.
I mean, there's
and they'll
definitely
change
been a
it.
backlash
It comes
about
out
it.
literally in
What, like next Thursday?
1 hour. Comes out the 10th, no? Or is
thought it was
the
the
15th?
15th.
Oh, if it's the 15th,
I think it's the 15th.
It comes out next Thursday.
Yeah.
There's no way they can change that quickly.
Who knows? I mean,
No, they could
magic
submit
of the
an
team.
update
I won't be
and
at
just
it.
I
They could patch
disable
it.
it, I
Yeah,
guess.
the update real quick.
All right, flip it up, turn it around.
Flip it up and turn it
Send it
around.
over, Bryce.
All right,
wiggle.
keeping it with the Nintendo news, I think the last piece of news for Nintendo that we have, Nintendo goes on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and they show off the Switch.
He's the biggest fan.
Apparently.
Yeah.
With the
He
smallest
said it
hands.
probably 50 times.
Yeah.
I am the biggest fan.
I am your biggest
A
fan.
lot of that was selling TV, but he did look like a genuine fan.
Yeah.
He had some
A geek,
knowledgeable
yeah.
points,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but still, he's the biggest fan.
I mean, so what they did is they showed off Super
could be
Mario
the
Run.
biggest turd.
They had Miyamoto playing the Super Mario theme song with the Roots, which was really cool.
That's pretty fun.
They also they showed off the Switch. They kind of gave it was out in the wild for the first time, I guess.
Oh, is that a nice little?
You know, I do what I can. I'm not Justin, but I do
He's
what I
been
can.
thinking about it for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
2 seconds.
That was good breath, Brian.
This whole show on Jimmy Fallon was so Nintendo to me, just like from start to finish. Like it just screamed Nintendo when I was watching it.
When sorry to
we
cut
didn't
you
see
off
anything
there,
new,
but
right?
the
I
very
mean-
first thing that I
You
saw,
saw the actual,
it was like Reggie there talking, and he was like, "All right, so this is what it is," and I was like, "He's so stiff up there."
You could almost hear Jimmy. He was like, "Yeah, I saw this before. Like, let's go." Like,
Yeah,
thanks.
it was just like, let me explain it to you one more time, so that way everyone in the
Well,
audience
he's
who's
practiced
listening.
it thousands of times, and they're
And
like,
it's
make
just like-
sure you do this,
And make
and
sure
make
you
sure
touch on
you
this
hit
point
this.
because
Well,
the
bec-
critics say that.
I imagine the theory is there's lots of people watching
for the first time.
that don't know at all.
Well, for the first time, or people that want to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, but Reggie is stiff, but that sucks because he's actually I do think
He's
he
laid
likes
back, yeah.
the games. Like he,
Oh, no,
but he's
there's-
on like a
he's there for a reason.
He's like
a good
that,
guy.
that CEO
Yep.
type. It's just like
Domo
You know,
Arigato,
Whoever
Mr.
was,
Roboto.
who was, never mind. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's fine.
Keep moving.
So what they
Flip
showed
it up.
off was they let Jimmy play
Super
Breath of
Mario
the
Run.
Wild.
Super Mario Run and Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Run. It looks relatively intuitive. You'll be able to play it by the time that you're probably listening to this.
Hitboxes look whack as fuck though.
On the
Just
Super
throwing
Mario.
that out.
Well, it looks like
looks
Jimmy
like-
was shitty at it. Let's be
Well,
honest.
but I'm just saying, it looks
He's
like
shaking
he
like a
should
leaf.
have died. And I've
Oh,
watched
yeah.
other videos where like it looks like you should die, but the hitboxes are so big that you
You don't, yeah.
Hitboxes are fucked. Just
Well,
saying.
Hanzo's hitboxes are fucked too, but let's
That's
that's
call a
neither
spade a
here nor
spade.
there. Yeah.
Okay, it's not for the Overwatch, guys.
Anyways,
I caught the
but
reference. So you can't
Yeah.
blow that past me at this point.
Can't pull the wool over your eyes.
He's heard enough to know.
He's
the
heard like
biggest-
100 hours
Yeah.
of Overwatch.
The biggest thing was the Nintendo Switch that they showed off there. It was there. Jimmy Fallon got to hold it and play it.
No, what I was thinking from watching the video when
No.
Jimmy Fallon had it in his hands, that it looked small. You know,
Do you
I was
actually feel
surprised.
that, or
What
did
did-
Gary say that and you're repeating it?
Or no, I think that
What
was my
looks small
thought.
to you?
The actual controller with the screen on it, it looked small. You know, in his hands, it did. That was my thought.
Okay.
Originally.
Is that yours?
So-
What controller are you talking
Yeah.
about?
The one that has the screen on it that you have to take out. I don't know what it's called.
Okay, so the tablet.
The tablet. Yeah.
Okay,
The tablet.
so
Was-
you're
is that
talking
what I
about
was
you're
talking
talking
about?
about the Joy-Con.
Nope.
No,
No.
no.
You're talking about the Joy-Con,
Well,
the
that's what
little
I'm talking about. I'm
controller
not
that
sure what
slides
you're
onto the end of the screen, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying
Okay.
to
So-
take Gary's point. Apparently, I was off.
Oh, is
No,
that what
way
you were
off.
trying to do?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
We couldn't tell.
trying to feel it.
So, what Gary was telling us off air is that he thinks that the Joy-Cons themselves are way too small,
Extremely small.
and I'm not going to disagree with you on
Yeah.
that.
Extremely small.
What I will say is that I feel like
Brian's got
that.
tiny hands.
Oh, I've got tiny hands.
perfect.
And he ain't
Right.
afraid to admit
Tiny
it.
hands. You can hear it on the
Unboxing.
Plug
The
that.
unboxing of this guy right here.
Hey,
You
Brian,
should go
put
do
your
that.
hands on top of my head. Now take a picture.
There it is.
Break.
Okay. Nailed it.
But it looks like the Joy-Cons themselves are way too small, but I feel like when they're being used for multiplayer, it's more of a
Show and tell.
convenience type of thing, a show and tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to be playing it with just that one controller.
It's
and
not
I,
going to be like, hey, Brian, come over to my house. Let's play on these fucking shitty ass
you
controllers.
actually can't do that unless you're just playing on the tablet itself.
Yeah.
So if you dock
Pro
that,
controller.
you can't. I don't think that you can use those two
Yeah.
because both of those are needed for the normal controller itself.
So how am I
On the
supposed to
TV.
give you those two?
You're not
to play
supposed
with?
to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the other person is still gonna need
A second controller.
at least to have purchased the controller. With no console, who the fuck would do that?
So my thought is, and so you have the
I haven't thought of that point.
when you
That's a very
buy
good point.
when you buy the console, you get the docking station, you get the tablet, and you get the two Joy-Cons, right? But you also get the
square.
controller, the square controller, that the two Switch Joy-Con things come
that's true.
off of
Yeah,
it
true.
and plug into it, right?
Yeah.
so
So,
do you buy extra Joy-Cons?
or
Pro
that's
controller.
my question is now, does the second person have to either get a Pro controller? So, for example, if I own the system, right, and I was like, Gary, you should come over and play Mario Kart with
Yeah.
me. Now, does the second player, can I go out and buy a Pro controller and just give that to you? I'm imagining, yeah.
Yeah.
You get that one and I get
Yeah.
the normal one. Or can I go out and buy the base controller for player 2 and then have 4 Joy-Cons, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? 2 for each
Exactly,
side.
yeah.
Does that work? How does that
I haven't
work?
seen anything on
I
it.
Because didn't
haven't-
Steve say that the Wii U shit out and they didn't do
No,
the two?
we're
the
talking
two
about.
screens?
No, but he
Well,
meant
I
they
mean,
did.
he.
You're
what I'm
talking
saying,
about the
like,
game
Two
pad.
game pads.
You're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the game pad.
Or
We're
they're
talking
choosing
about
the
the
game pad.
controllers themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm wondering, will he be able to run the two game pads?
Well, that's
at
what
the
my
I don't
thought
think
was.
it will.
Would you be able? Well, you won't be able to do 2 screens. But my thought is, if I own a system and Anthony owns a system, and Anthony brings his normal controller over with his 2 Joy-Cons, can he play on my
And maybe his screen is
Yeah.
dark.
Switch?
I believe you can because I believe that I saw a map out on all the little buttons and there was a sync button for it that I saw.
We'll
so you
see.
could probably
Sync
most
up.
likely sync a controller if you have a controller,
And
I have a
then his
controller.
would just be
But
black
I think the
screen.
question is, what is the second controller? Do you have to buy the Pro controller or can you buy the
Another Joy-Con.
the Joy-Cons themselves or
With
do,
the base
do they
controller.
only come with the system? And that is a question.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll find out in January.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, as far as watching the video, they didn't really play anything new that
No,
we
they
hadn't
just
seen
showed-
before.
Yeah.
Showed it off. It looked cool. It was actually playing on a Switch, which hasn't been done.
Correct.
well,
And
at
we've
least
been-
we haven't seen.
We haven't
but-
seen it.
Right. And we also got to see, I mean, that's probably the best, those are the best shots we've gotten of the Switch in general and in action at
Yeah.
the same time. Like you could really kind of see like someone's hands
Yep.
on it, physical
On it.
See what
moving.
it
Yep.
is? It's
Yep.
like 3 controllers in one or 3 consoles in one.
Yeah, he was freaking out. He
Freaking
said,
out, I'm your biggest fan.
"It's 3 consoles in one, bro. It's just a hybrid." He
it.
he
He
was
did
just
not-
He and I don't understand.
Justin, you and Jimmy
Me and
Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon need
Best
to
of
talk
bros.
to each other and
You
see
can
if
get
we
at
can
him
like
at Katata underscore fish underscore.
on Twitter, whatever you want.
He doesn't go on Twitter. It's fine.
I look at it occasionally
All right.
for your
Is that it?
pleasure.
We flipping it
Yeah,
up?
we're flipping
putting
it over.
down.
Keep moving.
So Justin, you'll be a fan of this.
Will I?
Bully Anniversary Edition launches on iOS. Never mind, it's on iOS.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I want buttons.
I know. It's
I
for
saw this already earlier in the week.
Rockstar
a great
Games
game. I mean, it's a
re-released
great
it
game.
on mobile devices for $7. Anniversary Edition comes with all of the content from the game's Scholarship Edition. So it takes up 2.4 gigs of space.
Holy
It
shit.
works on the iPhone 5
It's a
or
whole
newer.
game on your phone. I mean,
I'm a fan. I played the Grand Theft Autos on the iPhone.
Yeah. How's that work out?
But like, I mean, I don't know. I never
I
played Bully.
hate playing on the mobile.
I don't
phone.
like it,
Bully
but
is very similar to Grand Theft Auto 3 in its targeting system, but your weapons aren't guns. It's like slingshot and a lot of fist fighting. So it could be done. But I'm a buttons guy. I need a
yeah,
button.
I played Blaze City or something, and
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3. It worked. It's not like the greatest, but I mean, they handled it well. It was accurate enough where I felt like I wasn't like
Pissed
gonna
off.
pissed I was gonna throw
Yeah.
the phone across the room. But it's just like
I mean,
yeah,
for
it's
$7,
obvious.
I mean, if you play games on your phone like a donkey,
Yeah,
I'm
like
sure
a
it'll be
moving on.
amusing.
like a donkey.
Yeah.
Sure, it'll be
Yeah.
amusing to you.
But so the last piece of news
Kiss
that we
boys and
have
girls.
comes from PlayStation Experience, which happened last week and December 3rd and 4th, 2016. So there's a bunch of new things that they announced. First is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So it's a new Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game. Although, so I'm a big fan of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, I beat your ass before.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Sources.
Sources.
But speaking of sources, no X-Men are going to be in this game because of the movie rights.
Wow.
Yeah, so
But
Wolverine.
Wolverine's the most popular character, right?
So Wolverine has literally been in every X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom
He's
crossover.
a very popular
It's
character.
Ryu and Wolverine are the two that have been in every one, and they're getting rid of Wolverine, Storm, Magneto, all of those staples from X-Men because of the stupid fucking movie rights.
And as a person,
Sony fucking sucks.
and as
It's
a,
not Sony, it's Fox.
Oh, it is.
Fox has
the rights to X-Men and Deadpool.
Yeah.
the thing that sucks about fighting games is that if you're a person who is good with a character and that character is no longer there, it's not necessarily like something you can just up and change. So that
Yeah.
can really fucking suck if, an X-Men character is your main character.
Yeah,
That can
oh,
really
yeah.
suck.
Oh, yeah.
And Wolverine is a lot of people's character.
I think it's pretty shitty.
That sucks.
But along with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is playing into the Infinity Wars movies that are coming out 2017, 2018, is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate, which is coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in March 2017. It's just a re-release with all the content of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yep. Keeping with fighting news, Street Fighter V Season 2 is Season 2 is kicking off in 2017. It reintroduces Akuma and the season pass for $30, I guess.
Are you ever gonna get back into Street Fighter? Is this
Me?
just like
No.
looking like shit for you right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, they changed.
fucked up at
They
release.
changed my character, so I'm never going back.
See, that's kind of what I was saying about the last story.
That's
That
you
sucks.
see,
Yeah.
see how it just fluidly
It just,
works.
like, happens.
It's like you
it's
guys talked
weird.
about this beforehand. It's
But we
crazy.
didn't though. That's
his
the
idea.
funny-
It's
Yeah, I know.
amazing.
It's crazy.
But all right, next
Chemistry.
piece. Next chemistry.
Sexy like that.
Wipeout Omega Collection is coming to the PS4. Collection includes Wipeout HD, HD Fury,
Is that like the TV show Wipeout?
No, it's like-
the
it's
big-
like-
the racing game.
racing game,
Oh,
Jetstorm
okay. Yeah,
type of thing.
Sorry,
Pretty
sorry.
dope. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's
I
a pretty
suck
good
at
game.
it.
They're pretty good games.
Yeah.
Summer
I think they gave away
2017.
one of those Wipeouts for free on Games with Gold not too long ago, I believe.
Probably not as their
since there's
PlayStation games.
games.
So you didn't.
Interesting.
The next piece of news that we have is Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, is coming to the PS4. So, Sony is working on a remastered plus version of Crash Bandicoot Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot Warped, all in one place with all new visual updates. No announcement for
Where
date.
is Spyro the Dragon?
Nowhere to be found because Insomniac is not doing Spyro.
Well, I like Spyro the Dragon, and this game just reminds me of PlayStation 1, and that's all I think about Spyro the Dragon.
I'm really excited for Crash. The game.
I suck at Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I know. I can tell.
Suck at Crash Bandicoot. And during the, that little
Easter
sweet
egg,
mini game
yep.
in Uncharted,
How bad?
trash. Absolute garbage. I can't even imagine what your score looked like compared to mine. I don't even want to know.
Fair enough. I'm really excited. I was pumped that they showed it off. I'll probably pick it up. But speaking of Uncharted, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is the Uncharted 4 DLC.
Which I didn't play.
No, it's coming out.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So Uncharted Lost Legacy stars Uncharted 2 heroine Chloe Fraser, as well as Uncharted 4 villain Nadine Ross.
That
So
vixen.
it's
Chloe.
the two of them in what it looks like a Middle
And
Eastern
Nadine.
state where it's.
Oh,
It looks
wacky
really good.
cast
Although
of characters.
the camera zoomed in a little bit more, kind of like The Last of Us rather than Uncharted. So I'm not necessarily sure what type of game this is going to be. If it's going to be more of like very story driven, very not action heavy. It's going to be like walking through the park. I don't think so either, but it did look slightly Last of Us-esque.
Nadine, she was such a bitch.
Speaking of Last of Us.
Speaking of Last of Us, probably the biggest piece of news is The Last of Us Part 2.
What?
So they ended the press conference with a trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, where Joel and Ellie return in a new tale that gives Ellie an older look. And it's so for
She
those.
knows how to play the guitar.
She knows
She's
how to
been
play
practicing a
guitar.
shitload of guitar.
Did you guys see the trailer for it?
I did.
All right.
Yep.
So it's
Pretty
basically
emotional, and
it's
he ran the fields.
basically
Made
a
me feel
hype
right back at
trailer.
home.
But I mean, he still made that super douchebag choice at the end of the first game.
Well, all right. So
well,
depending on
he
how you
never cared for her, but now it's The Last of Us 2. Now he cares for her.
Well, he cared for her at the end. That's why
he
didn't-
cares
that's
for
why
he
didn't
cares for her
sacrifice
throughout the whole game of the first one. And if you didn't catch that, you missed the entire plot.
Yeah, you're a pussy.
That's not true.
He
That
was-
is so true.
Since chapter 2, he loved her and he knew
Yeah, that's the
But
reason
he acted
faked
as
it.
if he did it.
he
Correct.
replaces
That is true.
Sarah.
He
with
acted as
Ellie.
he did.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just
It's
calling
called
him out on
hiding
his
your
fucking
feelings.
flaws.
He's
Yeah,
not allowed
yeah.
to let her
I'm
know
just calling him out on his fucking
All right,
flaws.
so thoughts
He
on
acted like
this.
a tough.
It's a reason.
Thoughts on this
It's a
is that I
reason.
hope that you play through the whole game as her.
So my thought is
Dude,
you play as Ellie, and so the trailer is it's Joel walking through this house and Ellie's playing a guitar on the bedroom in the back of the house. And
She's playing Wonderwall.
No, I don't know what she's playing, but Joel's walking
Freebird.
through,
It's
Don't worry-
Freebird.
don't worry back.
and you
It's
see a
Freebird.
bunch of different dead fireflies that you would imagine, right? Bunch of dead dudes. And Joel walks through the entire house and he's like, well, what the hell happened? What are we going to do? And she responds with, we're going to kill all of them. And my thought is, what pushes her over the edge to actually want to kill all these people? What's the point? Because at the end of The Last of Us Part 1, spoilers, is he tells them that, hey, they didn't have a cure, they were just going to kill you, so I saved you. What I think happened is he continues to tell her this lie, and
She gets pissed about it.
no, she doesn't get pissed about it. She doesn't find out about it, and the fireflies come after you because you killed a bunch of people, and they kill Joel. And this is her hallucinating and having him talk to her. And so once they kill Joel, she's pissed off, and she's like, "I'm gonna kill all
Dude,
of them."
Joel can't
Because
be bad.
why?
Wait, what's the?
No,
Why would
I
she-
think you're so wrong. With
Why
this
would
idea.
Why would she go crazy and say, "I have to kill all of them"?
Who the fuck knows? They're
Could
not
be
telling us
any
anything.
sort
They're
of
not showing
situation.
us anything.
That's what I got from
No,
it.
and that's
He
really cool
lied
idea.
to her at the end of the game. He could continue to lie to her about anything.
Joel does.
That's
Say
a really cool
anything.
idea, Brian. But I think that Joel will be the main character of this
Yeah.
game. You will be playing as Joel.
I don't
You
think
gotta
so.
play as Joel.
You'll play.
You
I
gotta play as
guarantee you
Joel.
play as Ellie.
I think
because
I'm
she's
on
grown
team
up.
Is this
She's-
a bet?
Yeah.
Is this a bet?
Yeah.
What are we putting on this,
We'll
Brian?
we'll put on beers. So
No, we should do some sort of wacky outfit while we record.
Okay, wacky outfit while we record.
I get to pick your outfit, you
You
get to pick mine.
Perfect. And we'll do vice versa because I'm on Team Ellie, he's on Team Joel, so we
Joel.
both have to do it.
Alright.
You
So
shake,
it's
you
like
shake a
dual-
person's hand.
Dual costumes?
Dual
Alright.
costumes.
Alright.
Dual call.
I know what team I'm on, but you won't see it. So
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Steve's
matter.
naked every
I'm probably
time.
I'm Team Joel.
Team Joel.
It's Joel.
All right.
You think it's
So
Team Joel?
I'm gonna say
I don't even know.
you play as Ellie
Majority
for
of
the
the game.
majority of
Yeah,
the
it
game.
has to be like
It's got to be
because I
the
bet
majority.
you
Joel is.
It's
Yeah,
like
51%.
It's like in Halo 5, you play as Agent Locke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
okay.
it is.
Or like The Last of Us 1 where you play mostly Joel but
Joel.
sometimes Ellie.
Exactly.
See, it's like full circle.
This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be a
You know
good
what? No matter
time.
who loses, everybody wins.
Yeah. Anyways,
Everybody wins.
do we want to just end on that?
Yeah,
I
please.
think
Yeah,
that's
let's just end on that because they've got other stuff, and if you want to go check that stuff out, go to the PlayStation blog and check that stuff out.
We'll throw
But
stuff at the camera.
That's going to be it for Under Your Thumb this week. We're going to take a quick break with what we're doing on the site and all that jazz, and so we're just throwing shit. We don't know what we're
Actually
doing.
drunk.